It's Lindley Oz, and we're going to talk about time travel because it is something fascinating that has intrigued people for many, many generations. People want to know, has it been done? Is it being done now? And will it be done in the future if it's not being done now? And I want to look at it from a Christian perspective because there are many people who believe that time travel is mentioned in the Bible. Now, I'm going to post a couple videos on my news post of Gary Stearman telling his theology about time travel and his experience he had with an unidentified flying object. Of course, he believes they're Nephilim, just like I do. So I'll have those videos, and there's also a couple other videos I'll have that are biblical, and they're based on the Bible. I don't necessarily agree with everything in the other videos. I do agree with everything in the Gary Stearman videos, but I don't necessarily agree with everything in the other videos I'll post. However, there are some very good points made and some very interesting things that do sound theologically accurate in the interpretation. But once again, so that you know, the other videos that do not include Gary Stearman that I will include, there are a couple things in there I'm not sure about or I don't necessarily agree with. Now, Gary Stearman is a very good theologian and Bible prophecy scholar if you've never heard of him. And you can find him at www.prophecyinthenews.com. He has regular videos he puts out interviewing different people, and they're always very good and very reliable. I'm going to read to you right here what it says on Coast to Coast because they interviewed him. It says, Bible prophecy researcher and author Gary Stearman presented a fusion of Christian and scientific study, arguing that key people in the Bible were transported through time and space, and that UFOs/aerial craft were described in the ancient books. Over 40 years ago, Stearman was flying a plane over Texas, and you'll hear his account in one of the videos I'll post on my article, and had a life-changing UFO encounter. A disk around 100 feet in diameter approached his plane and probed his thoughts. Later, when he landed at the Lubbock airport, he discovered he had been gone for 6 hours. His plane only had enough fuel for 4 hours. This event led him to seek out answers from the spiritual dimension. The Apostle John is an example of a time traveler in the Bible, and Stearman. In the book of Revelation, he relates how he was praying at one point, and the Lord opened a door in heaven, and the first voice I heard was as it were of a trumpet, and the voice said, "Come up here, and I'll show you things that must be hereafter." So Gary Stearman believes that this wasn't just a vision as we think it was, but an actual travel through time. Now, whether he physically was there and traveled through time, or it was more of a spiritual or mental traveling through time, and Gary Stearman discusses that in one of his videos I post. We don't know. John went on a guided tour of the future, traveling from around 96 AD to around 2020 2025. Stearman estimated. Rather than a flight of imagination, he believes John actually traveled through time. Joshua wrote a narrative of the sun going backwards, which suggests that time is malleable. Moses and Elijah also had time travel-like episodes, he added. The story of Ezekiel's wheel in the Bible sounds like a craft sighting and may have been described the experience of G-force, he noted. In the earlier book of Enoch, Enoch was said to enter a flying house and take a guided tour of Earth, he detailed. Stearman also talked about the philosophical nature of time, biblical prophecy, such as Daniel's pivotal message about the arrival of the Antichrist, as well as transdimensional raiders, who could be considered angels from the dark side, or as we know, fallen angels. Now, this here is a really long article that I read last night. Very interesting. Not sure that I agree with everything in the article, but a lot of the things that are said are indeed very interesting. It says, does Father God travel in time? What if Einstein was right about time travel? And you can scroll down through the article. I will place a link within my article. I'm not going to sit here and read this all to you. because it's kind of something you have to sit down and read. And there were just some extremely interesting things in here. It discusses visions to do with time travel, the fifth coming of Elijah in relation to time travel, and just all sorts of things. Elijah on Mount Sinai, he talks about the transfiguration of Jesus and how Moses and Elijah were both there, and how Jesus was transfigured into light, and how basically this could have been a time travel experience. So you'll want to check it out. It is very, very interesting. You know, the book of Genesis, which Gary talks about in his video that I'm posting, um, God made the end before the beginning. There's many things in the Bible that do allude to time travel. We know that in God's world, there is no time and no space. There's a passage that says, one day to God is as 1,000 years. So, you know, God can travel back in the past and God can travel forward in time. And there's a passage about that too. And I apologize to you. I've not had time to look it up. I've been busy with my little girl who's 7, who is still in the hospital. And hopefully she can get out by the end of the week, but they're not sure at this point. She had a rough night last night. So I will try to find that passage. And when and if I do, I'll post it as a notation on this video. Anyhow, please check out my article on Before It's News because you'll want to see the videos that I'm posting. Thank you so much and God bless you.